Welcome to this absolutely amazing course on dealing with difficult bosses. We all have difficult people in our life that we have to deal with on daily basis. And the first step is to learn how to identify difficult people in our life. Most of the times we don't know that we are dealing with difficult people, so we don't know how to deal with them in the best possible way. In this section, I'm going to talk about different types of difficult people that exist. And once you have this information, you will start noticing certain traits which exist in people around you. Remember that 100% of the traits don't need to match. Even noticing shades of difficult behaviors will allow you to understand these difficult people and also understand why you get so triggered or affected by them. In fact, psychological research says that understanding people around us is the first step to dealing with them in the best possible way. So this is a very, very crucial step and I need you to pay attention. So let's get started. I'm going to introduce you to the first type of a difficult boss or a difficult person, and this person is called the aggressor. Listen to the traits of this person because you will be able to relate to it in one way or the other. In one sentence, an aggressor can be described as the person who stands on the head of the other people by cutting out their views and their opinions. Simply put, the aggressor will display 5 core qualities. Now listen to this carefully. Number 1, they have the need to be right, and they always tend to put down or cut down people. Even when you try to show them a different perspective, they are not open to listening. Point number 2, they often tend to view themselves as better than other people. They like to have control over everything and everyone around them. They almost have no ability to be sensitive to the feelings of people around them. Have you ever met somebody like that? Point number 3, when things don't go their way, their reactions are explosive. They tend to get sarcastic and they also tend to get highly volatile. They continuously interrupt you. In fact, their reactivity, their reactions are so contagious that you tend to lose your own balance when you're dealing with them. And there are chances that you end up getting reactive yourself. Again, have you ever met somebody like that in your life? Point number 4, they lack the ability to look at themselves, to evaluate themselves. So they almost have zero self-awareness. They are quick to blame other people for anything that's happening, anything and everything. Point number 5, they find it very hard to trust people. If they are upset, they can actually get very critical, attacking, and they might say things which might affect you in a very deep way. What happens to people who are at the receiving end of an aggressor boss? Now that's very, very difficult because encounters with bosses like these can leave you feeling shaken, leave you feeling vulnerable and confused about how to deal with them. In fact, one client of mine shared that she felt extremely angry, helpless and completely powerless while she was dealing with her aggressor boss. You know, it's almost like the boss has a sixth sense and knows how to push the buttons and keep this person off balance. So the important question here is, have you ever felt like you are dealing with someone like that? Do you feel that you have an aggressor boss at work? And do you tend to lose your emotional balance as you're dealing with people like that? Remember, the only way to gain your power back is to become aware of these type of people. Now is an absolutely good time for you to download the PDF of the first type of a difficult person, the aggressor, that's available in this section for you. These are some reflection questions that will help you raise your awareness and understand this type of a person that you're dealing with. Let me introduce you to the next category of difficult people or difficult bosses, whom we call as whiners. Now, this simple example will explain it all to you. Now, imagine that I'm holding a glass of water which is half full. What will an optimist say? Chances are that an optimist would say that it is a glass half full. If I were to ask a pessimist, chances are that the pessimist will see it as a glass half empty. Now imagine that I ask a whiner, what is this? Whiner will see it as the water is not cold enough, the person wanted bottled water and this is tap water, and in fact there is a smudge on the rim which means that the glass wasn't cleaned properly, and the person will think, why does this always happen to me? So you would have got an idea by now that a whiner is going to keep looking at things which are not okay in any situation. In fact, nothing makes a chronic whiner happier than being more miserable than their other colleagues or other people in their life. In fact, most whiners see their lives as full of hardships and challenge. They tend to perceive themselves as forever on the losing end of things or forever having to deal with unfavorable issues and things on daily basis. They talk about their problems to others all the time. And as they are telling them about the issues, they are actually not looking for any advice or any solution. Whiners tend to complain to other people and those around them because they are actually seeking sympathy and emotional validation. They want somebody to tell them, oh, this is so bad and you're dealing with so much. In fact, they deeply believe that it is them who have to deal with the most amount of problems and most misfortune that there is out there. So they are constantly expressing their dissatisfaction to people around them. Have you ever met somebody like that? In fact, what becomes a problem for most people is that whiners tend to grumble and complain without ever being open to any solutions. So even if you offer a solution or if you give any kind of advice that will resolve the problem or give it some kind of a solution, they are never happy to hear it and neither are they open to it. They will often respond to it by explaining why a suggestion will not work, or they will end up becoming upset with the person who is offering it, saying that you don't understand how difficult the problem is. So at this point, I need you to ask yourself whether you're dealing with somebody at workplace or a boss who has some traits of the whiner. Do you find yourself getting completely drained by their constant whining and negative energy? Do you find yourself constantly trying to offer a solution or make a change, but it never ever seems to work? Yeah, we know that it's a difficult space to be in, but this awareness itself is the first step to any kind of change.